The Bitter Secret in the Velvet Box, a Kristyella story. Some things we bury aren't meant to stay buried. They're just waiting for the right moment to remind us who we are. This is Leanne's story, and maybe, in some small way, it's yours too.
The velvet box had sat at the bottom of my sock drawer for 5 years, buried like a bitter secret. It contained a heavy, Victorian-style gold filigree bracelet, set with a deep crimson garnet. It had belonged to my mother, Marissa, a woman whose exacting standards and sharp tongue had left me feeling chronically not enough. When she moved across the country with her new husband, and the two of us went completely silent, the bracelet was all that was left of her. After my mother's passing 5 years ago, her new husband, along with my mother's fortune, had moved on. Instead of seeing a beautiful heirloom, I saw a handcuff. To me, the bracelet represented every critique, every cold shoulder, and every holiday ruined by stubborn pride. My mother had worn it constantly, therefore the bracelet was her. I resented it. I refused to wear it, refused to look at it, and keeping it locked in the dark was my quiet, vengeful way of keeping her exiled from my life. Then came the invitation to my niece's wedding. The dress code was elegant, and I found a stunning floor-length emerald gown that skimmed my curves and made me feel like the best version of myself. I wore my hair swept up, soft pieces framing my face, and heels that made me stand just a little taller. Standing before the mirror the night of the event, I looked nearly perfect. But my bare wrists looked stark, almost naked. For reasons I couldn't entirely explain, I walked over to the dresser, reached into the back of the drawer, and pulled out the dusty velvet box. I snapped it open. The garnet caught the bedroom light, gleaming with a warm, wine-red fire. Against the emerald of my dress, the gold filigree was breathtaking. No, I muttered to myself, my chest tightening with that familiar, heavy ache of old family arguments. I'm not wearing her baggage. I reached out to slam the box shut, but stopped. I looked from the dazzling jewel to my own reflection. I was denying myself the perfect finishing touch to a beautiful evening, punishing my own appearance, just to keep a grievance alive. Who am I actually hurting right now? She isn't in this room feeling rejected. I'm the only one standing in the dark. With a trembling hand, I lifted the bracelet and clasped it around my wrist. It felt cool against my skin, then quickly warmed to my body temperature. When I arrived at the reception, the ballroom was a swirl of music and laughter. I was chatting with a group of friends when a woman I had never met stopped in her tracks, eyes locked on my wrist. She leaned in and said, "Excuse me."
Oh my goodness. I just have to say, that bracelet is absolutely magnificent. It has so much character, and it looks like it was woven out of pure gold just for you. It completes your entire look.
My mouth opened. The old reflex was right there, ready. It was my mother's, the words practically sitting on my tongue, poised to close the door on the compliment entirely. But I stopped myself. I looked down at the garnet glowing warm under the chandeliers, and something in my chest quietly released its grip. The compliment didn't feel like a reminder of my mother's shadow. It felt like a spotlight on my own elegance. For the first time in years, the heavy knot in my chest unraveled. I realized I had been standing guard over an empty room, keeping the door locked, the lights off, the bracelet buried, and the only person who had ever been trapped inside was me. The jewelry wasn't a weapon anymore. It was just a beautiful piece of art, and it belonged to me now. "Thank you," I said, my smile genuine and light. "It's a family piece, and I'm so glad I decided to wear it tonight."
Leanne didn't call her mother that night. There was no letter sent and no sudden resolution to years of silence. Just a beautiful piece of art, finally out of the dark. Sometimes, room to breathe is all we really need. I think that Leanne did do something graceful. She chose herself. Sometimes that's where healing begins. If something came to mind while you were listening, something you've been keeping locked in the dark, maybe it's worth asking yourself the same question Leanne did. Who am I actually hurting right now? I'm Kristyella. Thanks for settling in.